Hi everybody, this is Joshua Kirk back with you guys once again on YouTube. And now it's time for episode 50 of Album of the Day. And once again, this review is a little different than how I normally do reviews because I mostly do reviews in the morning, but, I just felt so inspired by what I'm going to review today that I decided, why not do it in the afternoon on this, Sunday afternoon. And the weather's much better out there now than it was, in the Modest Mouse review where it was just, snowing like crap out there. But, now it's good weather and now I'm ready to do another review. So today's artist is an artist that I have, grown to love for ages. It's sort of an artist that blends that has a blend of blues, folk, and hip hop. He kind of blends in some blues guitar and harmonica and string bass and drums with hip hop rhythms and attitude in there a little bit. So it's he kind of blends in some blues and hip hop. So he's pretty original in that way. So it's an artist by the name of G Love, and I'm sure most of you who know G Love probably most know G Love as being, famous for playing with a band called Special Sauce that consists of Jimmy Jazz on string bass and Jeffrey Clemens on drums and backing vocals. So I'm here to review G Love's, I think this is probably maybe his second or his third solo record, that's billed solo, I mean, G Love does play with the Special Sauce on this album, but, it's billed solo because not all of the tracks have Special Sauce on them. Some of the other tracks have, other musicians playing with him. So anyway, this album came out in August of 2006, and it's called Lemonade. And the reason I'm reviewing this album is because this has been one of my favorite albums for ages. I remember as maybe a 6 or 7-year-old or something like that, listening to this album and loving it. And listening to it today, I still love it. And in fact, I think I love it even more as a 14-year-old than I did then, pretty much. When I first started listening to this album, I didn't know exactly why I love it so much. I just knew that I loved it. But, of course, as a teenager now, I kind of see, why I really like this album. And I don't just love it, but nowadays I see the reasons for it now. So anyway, here's the cover. Kind of looks like a Lemonade brand box on the cover. And in this case, this is some music. That's a G Love brand. Spine, other spine, and the back. And it features Special Sauce, Black Alicious, Latif the Truth Speaker, Tristan Prettyman, Mark Broussard, Jack Johnson, which, speaking of Jack Johnson, this is on his Brushfire Records label, Ben Harper, and Jasper. So there's some hip-hop musicians and then some folk musicians that are contributed in here, and of course the Special Sauce, which are the usual suspects for a G Love record. The songs on here are Ride, Ain't That Right, Hot Cookin', Can't Go Back to Jersey, Missing My Baby, Holla, Banger, Thanks and Praise, Let the Music Play, Free, Beautiful, Rainbow, Breaking Up, and Still Hanging Around. And, of course, like I said, this is on Brushfire Records, which is a label founded by, a musician that by another musician that I've, loved for ages, Jack Johnson, who is from Hawaii, and he plays like, kind of simple, like beachy, like acoustic music. I mean, my tastes have evolved over the years, but I still leave a little room for artists like Jack Johnson here and there. But anyway, I'm going to show you the inside, give you a closer look of it. There's the song Personnel. Sorry you can't see it too well because it's like really bright, but the best I can do for today. There's a picture of G Love right there. And then the disc is looks like a lemon slice. And then there's like, like a little thing of lemonade right there. And then there's like the other credits. So that's it's a very simple packaging, very stripped down, but that's the packaging for Lemonade by G Love. So there you go. So the first song on this album is the song Ride, and right away it just brings back like, like the down-home blues groove that we all like know and love from G Love. If you're a G Love fan, you probably know and love his down-home blues grooves, and that's exactly what the song Ride is, with like, with like the down-home feel of the guitar, and then like, some simple bass and drums, and then, it wouldn't be a G Love song or a G Love album, maybe that's the better way to put it, without G Love's, famous blues harp playing. So the blues harp definitely does come in the middle, which definitely does tell you, this definitely, isn't anyone but G Love for sure. And then there's the second track, Ain't That Right, which has, some pretty, straightforward instruments, and it has, like a down-home blues groove once again, but it has like some psychedelic production to it. I mean, there's like this weird, like, echoey guitar that goes on in that song, as well as some rather, psychedelic background vocals as well. So there's like some psychedelic production going on. Ain't That Right, which, kind of sets it apart from other, blues grooves out there. And, it's out there. And another thing that's psychedelic about Ain't That Right is like, the weird percussion, and the electric piano adds just the right amount of, funkiness to it. And it's kind of a song about like how, it just, feels good, like, to be alive and to, and to live, a positive lifestyle, and like, and like it has totally legitimate lyrics, things like some really good words of advice, which are, love is all you, they say that love is all you need to heal your wounds, which, that is definitely true there for sure. And then like, there's a little bit of humor going on this album too, like Hot Cookin' definitely has like some wordplay to it for sure. It's like more kind of metaphors, like wordplay, than like an actual thing. And then there's the hilarious Can't Go Back to Jersey. And then there's the hilarious track, Can't Go Back to Jersey, which has like lyrics about like, the narrator has like some girl in his life that obviously he's in love with, but he doesn't want to go back to Jersey, wants to live somewhere else with that girl, and then the girl, like, eventually, like, gets pretty, angry about it, and then, like, gets furious over, what the guy wants to do. So it's kind of a song about the dilemma of, like, you want to move somewhere, but you know someone doesn't want you to do it. So it's kind of a song that kind of has that grappling dilemma to it in the lyrics. In the lyrics, but it's like a really funny song, and plus you know it's definitely the kind of song like that has a lot of funny elements to it, like the lyrics, and of course and then there's like some little like some like woo noises in the background too, and in the chorus you just want to say I ain't going back, because it's like it's such a fun chorus right there. And then like it's got this really like funky organ on it, and at the end it has this weird outro that goes like lemonade, 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 which kind of sounds like a few like girls or something like that. So it's like funny lyrics, a catchy chorus, that really funky organ, and then of course there's that weird coda at the end right there. Then there's Missing My Baby, which is like a quieter moment on the album, and it has this weird little like almost Latin feel. And it's got this weird little like Latin feel from the viola on there, which is played by Dave Hidalgo of the band Los Lobos, who of course the members of Los Lobos have collaborated with a bunch of people like Tom Waits and Nico Case and people like that. So like it has like that interesting little string instrument that like kind of like it has an interesting viola that kind of has a Mexican feel to it that kind of sets it apart from other like quiet blues songs. And then it has like a weird effect on the guitar on it too. I think there's like a solo in it that like has some weird effect on it or something like that. And then there's the song Holla, which kind of has some jazz kind of sounds from the piano in there, and the clavinet in there too, like some really jazzy keyboard sounds on the song Holla. And then there's a couple of hip hop influenced tracks after that one, which are the songs Banger and Thanks and Praise. And the song Banger contains Blackalicious and Latif the Truth Speaker on it, and it's like this funky, like sexy hip hop groove. Like I'm picturing like all these like beautiful like women like dancing to it. Like Banger's just a fun little like bob your head kind of hip hop groove. And that one has like some pretty funny like lyrics on it, like there's lyrics like it has like some pretty humorous lyrics that go like Black Panther Cub got a lot of love from the bottom to the top, underground up above. And then like other like funny lyrics of like things like all the naysayers saying no, they can eat crow, and things like that. And it's got like some like really addictive beats, and then the keyboard sounds just so like the beats and the keyboards just sound so addictive on that song. And then there's Thanks and Praise, which features Jasper on it, which like that song kind of blends in like a little bit of folk elements from the acoustic guitar, and then like kind of a punk edge from that really like angry electric guitar, and then like some hip hop in there from like the drum machine and like the rapping and stuff like that. And then there's Let the Music Play, which you know, also has like kind of a slow, like cool, like, you know, sexy groove to it. And that one features Ben Harper and Mark Broussard on it, which of course are like, you know, some like good friends of G-Love. I mean, you know, G-Love's been like really good friends with Ben Harper for a while, which kind of makes sense because like Ben Harper's like, you know, like an amazing like guitar player, you know, for example, like he really does nail it on a lot of those slide guitar solos that he does on some of his work with the Weissenborn. Although there isn't much slide playing on the song, you know, like Ben Harper did play a guitar part on the song, but just not a lot of slide playing. But then of course, you know, you hear like his voice in there along with some Wurlitzer from him, and then you got kind of this soul and R&B vibe to like Mark Broussard's vocals that come in of like, bring on your music, bring on your soul. So it's like, you know, kind of like got this like cool little like soul and R&B kind of, you know, feel to it. So that's what I love about Mark Broussard's voice on here. And then it like has like the use of like, and then it's kind of got, and the guitar has kind of got this weird like tropical jungle kind of feel to it. And then it features like a bunch of hand claps on there too. And then there's the song Free, which has this weird like droney guitar. As well as a little bit of like bass, drums, and organ to back it up, and then like some female oohs in the background too. And the fun fact about that one is that it actually blends in like lyrics from the first verse of the song The Hustle, which is off of G-Love's album The Hustle, which came out in 2004, which that one kind of had a different feel than, you know, the first few G-Love albums. You know, pretty much. So like the fun fact about Free is that it contains the first verse, like the complete first verse from The Hustle in there. And then there's Beautiful, which has Tristan Prettyman on it, and like G-Love and and like the song Beautiful contains Tristan Prettyman on it, and like G-Love and Tristan Prettyman's voices, you know, just, you know, go so well together, and it kind of makes sense they collaborated on this song because sometime around 2007 they like went on a tour together, and there's plenty of elements in that song that feel right at home in there, in my opinion. Like there's like the strings that feel like the right little oomph to put in there, and then it kind of has this loungy feel from like the congas and the upright bass on it, and then the electric piano also adds the right amount of, you know, funk to it. Track number 12 has Jack Johnson on it, and it's called Rainbow. And, you know, of course, they've been like really good friends since they both collaborated on the song Rodeo Clowns off of the Philadelphonic EP. No, not an EP, but the Philadelphonic LP. So that's kind of where most people found out about Jack Johnson, through Philadelphonic LP. Before he even like put out solo records and started getting popular from there, pretty much. And this song has kind of a relaxed, like, you know, chilled out kind of acoustic feel to it. Track number 13 is Breaking Up, which is just a guitar and an upright bass, I don't really remember what the song's about, but with the name like that, it probably is some sort of, very personal song or something like that. G Love tends to have a lot of songs that are like very personal, so by the name Breaking Up, this is probably like some sort of like, personal like relationship song or something like that. And then it closes with two songs, Still Hanging Around and Sneakster, which is like a hidden track. Still Hanging Around is just G Love on a 12-string guitar, which it kind of makes sense. There's a 12-string guitar on this because like it has like a richer sound to it than just a normal 6-string guitar. String guitar, and yes, G Love is still hanging around for sure. And then there's the song Sneakster, which is like a hidden track, which has kind of that down-home funky groove that we all know and love from G Love. So this is an album that, like, I don't know if you've heard of G Love before. In fact, I assume some of you don't know who he is. But, I highly recommend you check out G Love, because you will dig his, his down-home blues sound. If you're into, like, blues, pretty much, this is the kind of music that would most likely appeal to you, pretty much. And I don't know if much people have heard this album. Like, I assume some people may only know G Love stuff from the 90s with, like, his first album and Coast to Coast Motel and Philadelphonic and albums like that. But, of course, if you haven't heard this, I highly recommend you check it out. It's like just a great, like, melting pot of sounds. Everything from blues to folk to funk to rock to like some hip hop. I mean, there's like the whole 9 yards musically on this album. So I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10 because it's like, one of my favorite albums. And usually your favorite albums usually are ones that don't have a whole lot of bad to it, and there isn't a whole lot of bad to this album. So a 10 out of 10 is there for my review of G Love's Lemonade. I'll see you for episode 51.